What do you got for us? GM and Ford, pretty easy thing to talk about. What do you got in Tesla?
Tesla demand for Teslas is booming and has been for quite a while. We see it in LikeFolio data where we track how much people are talking about actually ordering or buying one of these cars. And what you can see, with this chart is truly, fascinating. I mean, the growth that we saw from 2012 to 2018 was nothing to sneeze at. But since the midsummer of 2018 through essentially now, we've seen an absolute explosion in terms of consumer demand for Tesla vehicles. You can see that in the green line. We call that purchase intent mentions. A massive up spike over the last 18 to 24 months. And a lot of that occurred as the stock was getting beaten down. We call that a divergence opportunity. When we see LikeFolio data in terms of consumer demand on Main Street, diverging with what's going on Wall Street and expectations there. And usually those are our best plays, and it turned out to really work this time with now Tesla stock over that funding secured level of 420.
Yeah, Andy, and it seems like if people were following LikeFolio over the last 2 years in the stock, they would have caught this move that we're seeing in the stock. But are you guys able at LikeFolio to scrub a lot? Because there's a lot of stuff on Twitter, especially social media, with Tesla, between Ross Gerber and myself tweeting about it all the time to get some impressions. But are you guys able at LikeFolio to scrub that stuff away and actually focus on the consumer sentiment based on them purchasing or wanting to purchase one of their automobiles?
Yeah, that's really the secret sauce of what LikeFolio does. We try to ignore and do a very good job of filtering out conversations about the stock and stay focused on consumer conversations around the brands and products that are being sold. And so in Tesla's case, we're tracking, the Model 3, the Model X, the Model S, the new truck, pre-orders. There's a lot of qualifiers that have to go into it for us to consider something to be worthy of calling it a purchase intent mention. And you're right. I mean, there's a lot of hate on Tesla. There's a lot of, a lot of cheerleading as well. We try to scrub all that out and get down to, really valid consumer indications that they're making a purchase, leasing a vehicle, or at least pre-ordering one of the cars.
And Andy, I'm sure that after today's big news that Tesla, after just 1 year of breaking ground on their Shanghai Gigafactory, that they're going to start pushing out those deliveries. So I'm sure that you'll be seeing a lot of sentiment on Twitter after today. But I do have this tweet from Minor Threat that says, "It seems that I underestimated the December push in the U.S. Still waiting to see more data, but at the moment I am at 108,000 Tesla deliveries in the fourth quarter." And then he breaks down by geography. But this is kind of what you guys were just talking about as far as, Andy, when you're looking at people on Twitter actually talking about buying specific cars. I'm wondering, though, do you see more of a push toward one car or the other? Are people more excited about the Cybertruck that you've seen or the Model 3?
Yeah, the Model 3 is definitely leading the way. I think that it's starting to get massive adoption across a lot of demographics, even urban. Younger people tend to like the size of it. So I think that's been a success that has been a long time coming for Tesla. And really what the binary bet on Tesla is all about is their ability to go mass appeal. I personally think that the truck is beautiful. I've already pre-ordered. I'm in the vast minority there, but it did get a lot of action, and the pre-orders were insane. So it's only $100 to pre-order, and it's refundable. So there's not a lot of confidence behind those numbers, but it is showing a drive. The consumer wants a Tesla vehicle. They're not sure which one, but the new entries are very compelling for most of Tesla's target market.
Andy, Canaccord came out this morning, put a $515 price target on this stock. So are we going to get a $515 funding secured tweet anytime soon? I want to know how he answers a $515 price target, what he says, because he's been relatively well behaved in the last year in terms of tweeting discipline and not getting himself in any trouble, not smoking pot on air with anybody. He's been a relatively good boy, and the stock is showing that, Andy.
Yeah, what I really love about Elon Musk, I love betting on a billionaire with a proven track record that wakes up every morning and says, how can I crush the short sellers today? That's the type of guy I want to own stock in a company of. I don't know about price targets 515. Is it fairly priced here at 426? We've said it on here before. I think this is really a binary bet. There's a case for the stock to be at 180. There's a case for the stock to be at 580. And it all depends on how much you think Tesla will have success going mass market. What we can say is that the consumer loves this product. They want this product more than ever. Now, can Tesla deliver? That's always the big question mark. But so far, the answer seems to be it's starting to work.
Andy, I think that this Twitter user, Jonathan, would agree with you. He tweeted earlier that the best Christmas gift he got this year is the Tesla rally. And of course, we saw that shares of Tesla were up 33% in 2019. But on that candle chart, you'll see just huge green candles. So Tesla really, really showed out toward the end of 2019. And Kevin, to
I think it's awesome. Not a Tesla car, a Tesla rally.
Tesla rally, yes, exactly. But Andy, going forward for Tesla in 2020, what do you expect out of the company?
We expect pretty good things. So this consumer data tends to be very forward-looking. People tend to talk about large purchases like cars quite a bit in advance of actually going through with the deal, especially on something like a Tesla where pre-ordering is so important, and you're kind of putting yourself in line 2 or 3 years out. So I think the consumer demand is there for the company to tap into throughout 2020 and 2021. I don't think there's any question about that. I think that the real questions are around their ability to produce these, their ability to produce them in China and overseas, and that sort of thing. So I think the question mark is more on the supply side than the demand side. What we try to highlight is demand. It's clearly very high and growing, but the supply side is always a question mark with this company. It has a spotty history of being able to deliver.